about us out here, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But let's get it going. So, yo, on some rip. So, I'm gonna go from like a historical angle at first,
Yeah.
cause I need to.
That music ain't too loud.
You, I think we're good. I think we're good. So, how old are you? This is cause I need to figure some timelines.
I'm 38.
Out.
38.
38. All right. When did you start spitting seriously?
It's a little bit weird because
Okay, yeah.
like when I was the first official shit that I did was like the first official shit that I did. Turn it up a little. The first official shit I did an independent release when I was like 14, 15.
Okay.
In Hartford with this it was like a small label, Lynn Sound,
Okay.
Blue Room Recording, and it was like 4 Points of Pressure. I was in there with 4 other MCs, and that was my first thing on wax that got pressed to vinyl. That was like 94, 95. I was like 14, 15. But you know, when I really started to really take it serious was after I came home. I came home in like '02. And then I really, because I was writing rhymes when I was locked up and all that.
Right, right.
And when I got out, I started to really take it serious. At first, I wasn't even going to rhyme because I wanted to get out, just get a job, shit like that. But then I had hooked back up with some brothers that I knew before from like hip-hop. Because I always was involved with the hip-hop scene.
Right.
You know, whatever, you know, dudes just rhyming or whatever. I always rhymed. But I never really took it serious because I was doing other stuff.
All right, so you're from Hartford. I need to know, like, would you go to? I need to know all this shit. Like where were you? Because I want to know where I was during the time. Because we're 4 years apart. So I'm 4 years.
I was hanging with dudes your age.
Right. So I want to know, like, where you from in Hartford? You from Hartford, right?
I'm from the North End.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I grew up like on the other side of Blue Hills, on Tower Avenue, down by Main Street, Hooterville. So it's like around the corner from Crookville, which is still Village. And we all the way up Main Street before you get to Windsor. So we like the last neighborhood in Hartford.
Oh, word.
So you know where the Ranch House is, the West Indian Club.
Yes.
That's where we was from. And my mom's lived in Charter Oak.
Okay.
So I would spend time in Charter Oak
Word.
a little bit, but I never really lived there. I probably, out of her whole time there, I might have lived there for a year. But
When was this? Because I was in Charter Oak like from like 93 to 95.
Yeah, she moved out there. She might have moved out there in 91, 92. You know, she lived on A side on Cotswold.
I was in D side, so I was with the Solido.
So you was across the other side.
Yeah, it was King Solido.
Oh yeah, it was real. So, in 93, 92.
Yeah, you understand?
Charter Oak was
So I was Solido. So that we was
right
across the creek, though. You know what I'm saying?
It was real. And Kings was there.
Yeah, King.
But they got ran. You know, they got ran out. No, they left or whatever happened.
Yeah,
they was there, and then they wasn't there.
King was on A side. My man Johnny G. Yeah, so.
Johnny Gilbert and them niggas,
That was
and
my
Lil
man.
Will.
That was my
Lil Will with the blue eyes and shit.
Yeah, Johnny G was my man.
And Dooty and all of them.
Yo,
I know them.
I was in Charter Oak on it.
Dooty and Johnny Gilbert and them, they was on A side.
You know he's going, right?
Yeah.
So
and Little Will and them dudes, I know.
Yeah, Johnny G was my man. When I went to Southern.
Big Davy, that's Dooty brother, I think.
It is. It is.
Yo. He had a sister too, I think. I can't remember. That's a
So Johnny G like held me down. We both went to Southern for like a year.
Yeah.
He came down there. He held me.
Prior to all the gang stuff, all those dudes was cool. Those was like dudes you would play on the crates with and crate.
Johnny G was all-state football, man.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Those, all of that, but gangs kind of came and messed all of that up.
Right.
Like the same, like literally, it sounds cliche, but dudes who used to play together, after gangs came out, they was trying to kill each other. You know what I'm saying? And I say like after gangs came out, because it seemed like there was a certain time where we was at. Like gangs didn't even really exist. It would be like neighborhoods or whatever.
Right.
So I'm not really sure the origin of exactly, but it's somewhere in that early 90s for me.
91, 92, yo, the prisons and shit in CT. That's what, you know what I'm saying? The Solidos and the Kings.
And then the Dubs was on there. The 20 Love was on there.
Yeah, Dubs was all on the north side. Yeah, so Dubs was all
and all that.
Ville.
Square. But it was solid in the square.
Now in court, Barber Street, Martha Street, Garden Street, all over there. Yeah. So
shit got crazy.
Yo, they shut down the courthouses, man.
Yeah.
And not the courthouses.
Park Street was crazy.
New Britain Ave, yo.
New Britain was crazy
New
too.
Britain Ave, in Hartford, like all that. Yo, it was wild back then, man. It was wild back then, which is why it's funny because, we from here and it's like, oh, you from CT? It's like, oh, you in the suburbs and shit. Like,
well,
and it's like, you are in the suburbs, but it's like, that was a pretty crazy time for everybody.
As adults, we can all look and say, everywhere got hoods.
Of course.
Everywhere got hoods.
Yeah, I mean, small places, big places.
Hey, listen, what Pusha T said, if you know, you know, right?
Right. So, how'd you start spitting? Like, when you said, like, this is something that I'm really fucking with. Like how, even before before your bid and everything, we're gonna get into that, but like before, like when you're like, yo, like what got you?
Fell in love with
what made you fall in love with hip hop? Is the question.
Yo, no kidding, right? My older brother, I think he's about 5 years older, maybe 4 years older, and my older cousin Andre, right? So I first really got introduced to hip hop through my cousin Ricky, who's like a Jamaican, you know what I mean? But he was influenced by like Slick Rick. He was influenced by Public Enemy, you know what I mean? And he used to have like an Audi a long time ago with the gooseneck, you know, EQ and all that stuff.
Oh!
And so I was a little kid back then. I'm like 5, 6 years old, and I would ride with them, and so I got a letter from the government, you know what I mean, the other day, open it, you know, that PE shit, he was a heavy fan of that, and my mom bought us a little boombox, not like the big LL Cool J boombox, like some little Breakfast Club boombox, like some one speaker on one side and a tape deck on one side and an AM FM. And one of the first cassettes we got, I noticed a couple days ago, was the anniversary of License to Kill. That was one of the first cassettes that my mom bought us. She bought us Shine Head. You remember Shine Head?
That's the
Don't give it that one there, don't give it that. Yeah,
working on it.
That shit. She bought us that cassette and you know, and we used to listen. And somewhere around there is when, like, you know, obviously you used to see videos and shit on TV. I kind of fell in love in that era, but I was very young. So I would know all the words to the songs, but I wouldn't really understand all the words to the song. You know what I'm saying? So you would know that Bristol Hotel, he's talking about a hole that his boys ran through and how they jumped on his chick. I didn't understand that complete aspect of it. But later on, in the early 90s, it's like when my cousin Andre gave me Pete Rock and CL Smooth. Like every album that he would get, he would dub it, and he would be like passing the sword, you know, like knighting me with the hip hop. This is dope. Listen to this. You know what I mean? So that Pete Rock and CL Smooth, Gangstar, Step in the Arena. This is dope. Listen to this. You know what I mean? Ice Cube. This is dope. Listen to this. You know what I mean? So he was curating for me what I was listening to. So I came in right off the rip listening to official shit. And obviously all the commercial hits that you would see and on the radio and all that. But yeah, it was really Gangstar, Pete Rock, and CL Smooth. That's when I started to kind of comprehend
you were listening
what I was listening.
more.
So now I'm starting to understand.
Oh, you're like, you're starting to click. All
By the
pieces.
time WuTang came, I was a full-fledged hip-hop. I'm 13, 12, 13. And I'm on it. So you can remember when you was 12, 13, you was knowing. And there's so much stuff that happened. You know, you had the UMCs, all of this stuff in between that. The leaders of the new school. In that time, you had Tribe Low End Theory, which my older brother bought that cassette. And that was something that we just got the vibe, got the jazz, you know what I mean, all of that.
Of course.
You know how school you sold candy and shit? We sold candy, kept the money. We went to the record store, bought NWA shit. My mother found out we was listening to all that profanity. She took all the cassettes and broke them up. You know what I mean? So stuff like that.
And that's what it's like coming up. You know what I'm saying? Yo, Rap
I used to
FM,
take
we're in the
haircut
building.
money and go buy tapes. And then go get a bowl cut from my man. Yo, like, yeah.
Wow.
Because we wanted to get tapes like that. I remember I had bought Brooklyn Zoo back in the day. We, that Rockefeller, the Red Man, you know the album where his head is in the ground and there's a dark side.
1994.
But there was a maxi single that came on the album, like the cassette with like 6 songs on it or something. And the Rockefeller, you know that doom 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 doom.
Yep.
Like we used to just
Yo, it's Reggie.
Come on, everybody.
And we know that was the age. Yo, Rap FM, we in the building with Blacastan, Connecticut.
Yes, sir.
I mean, the Referrals, Demigods. So, all right, let's fast forward. So,
my man Chris, I'm sorry to get my man Chris. We used to go to the record stores, and he had a very small room. But we used to go to the record store, and you know how they do the end caps and the displays when the album come out, they got the poster and the cutouts and all that. He used to go, and the lady at the record store used to give him all the displays, you know, the cardboard cutouts. His room was covered, the whole wall, the whole ceiling, all hip hop, and he was another curator for me, because he used to be, and this is kind of like where I really, really first started rapping. In 3rd grade, we was in a talent show. I wrote a rap, you know what I mean? But with him, it was like I was like in middle school at the end of 6th grade, and we was rapping. The pause tapes we was doing. He had a mixer, a little mic, and he had a beat machine, a Yamaha, and we had a keyboard.
And that's something that can't be replicated.
No, you can't. And then he didn't have the EPS, but he had another E-Sonic and Sonic. Some kind of sampler, I forgot the name of it, but it was a keyboard. My man C. Brown had sold it to him, not Charlie Brown, but somebody that looked like Charlie Brown. We called him C. Brown. And we was learning how to sample with that and stuff. So we was making beats and all that back then too. And just recording for the neighborhood. Yeah, that's way back, man. We always loved hip hop. So I'm jumping all over, but we from that generation.
It's reminiscent, yo. It's a time period. Listen. I always say, man, I'm grateful for the time period and the location where I grew up, because nobody can take that away from us, yo. Like you're a part of history. Like because during that time, and as people are coming up now, like it's great, do the knowledge, but like we were there, and it's like important. Like yo, I'm so great because I'm just lucky that I was just born when I was born. You know what I'm saying? We're just lucky. We grew up when you like. Making beats in the lunchroom, you know what I'm saying? You spit.
Well, we did that.
Right, that's what I'm saying. You spitting that. Yo,
it was so natural. It wasn't contrived at all. It's just we was in that time. You know what I mean? And like, so the guys that was before us that came up during like with the famous group like the Furious Five, guy, they have a certain likeness of their time, But we came up when it was coming of age, you know what I mean? Like rap was like, and I respect what these guys are doing now. They growing up, man. They doing what they doing now, you know what I'm saying? It's beautiful. I'm a hip hoppy guy, you know what I mean? I can't front and be like anything else. I'm a hip hoppy guy, So it's kind of corny in a sense, but it's kind of not. It's like, yo, I'm just a fucking hip hoppy guy. I can't help it. So obviously being black and growing up in the hood and all of these cliches, you're more susceptible to fall victim to crime and all of that. I got in trouble and all of that, but it's like, I'm not gonna wear that like a badge of honor, you know what I mean? I it's a little bit more than that for me.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm just not just a knucklehead street guy that's running around clipping people's wings and, you know what I mean? I'm just a regular dude, you know what I mean? If I had a choice of growing up with less and growing up with more, I wouldn't have choose growing up with, you know what I mean? It's like, It's not nothing to really be glamified. Like, if I could have grew up in Glastonbury, nigga, I would have grew up in Glastonbury.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you're not getting stripes from the struggle.
Well, yeah. I mean, you shouldn't anyway. You shouldn't. But you do. So all right. So let's fast forward. So you spend, you 13. You feeling this shit, like, you know what I'm saying, gangsta. You feeling this vibe.
And I wasn't really rapping.
Right, but,
you know.
but I'm saying, as far as hip hop, you're feeling it.
Yeah, because guess what? With this rap shit, you could only be a true fan once. Like, you could only be a fan before you really start trying to do this shit. Because once you start doing this shit, once you see the magic trick and you know how the magic trick happens, it changes how the fuck you look at the magic trick. You know what I mean? It's like, if you was a fan of movies and then you acted in a movie and you saw behind the scenes and you're like, oh, this is what the set looks like. It doesn't look like when it's on the film and all huge and it's a bunch of Legos blowing up, not a real brick building, and you're like, it ruins it in a sense. So like, when you start to rap and you start to make it and do all this stuff, it gets a little bit different. You can't reverse once you've seen it.
Right.
So it changes it a little bit. If I could go back to those days and never have fucking rap, I think I would have stayed like that. Because it had a certain magic about it. And like Instagram and social media and all that, you could get in Ghostface's comments. He might not respond, but you can see what he does every minute.
Right.
When we was young, a Ghostface sighting was like seeing a fucking bald eagle fly through Child Hogerson. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was special.
Wait, hold up, just for the record. Yo, wait, stop right there. Rap FM, Blacastan in the building. He just said, see it back in the day, seeing Ghostface would have been like seeing a bald eagle fly through one of the worst projects in the city of Hartford. All right.
But
I'm just making sure I heard that shit correct.
But you feel me.
No,
so it's like, and then those rare glimpses of when you would see these people.
Yeah.
Nas, you didn't see a Nas concert every fucking day. It would be one. Remember back, you can remember when he came here. He came to the Sting. And then he came, like, we can all remember those times when he came here. Some little town shit, but it's our reality, right? You remember. They'd be like, yo, remember when Fat Joe came and this and that? Remember Keith Murray shit?
I was there.
But that's what I'm saying.
Red Man shit.
Nowadays, it's different. It's like that shit ain't magical
You
no
can
more.
say it if you want.
You know what I mean? It's not really magical anymore. I
No,
don't even know how I got on that.
The magic is good. The magic, yo, fuck it.
I was talking about being a fan.
Chopping it up with Blacastan.
Yeah,
It's not an interview,
being a
so
fan.
that's what it is. So
I babble, man. I can babble.
nah, that's your MC. Hopefully you can babble. But so, all right, we're gonna go back though. So you're 13. You heard the real shit. You're like, yeah. All right, you're feeling it as a fan.
WuTang was really, and I'm not saying that shit was really something so new and so different, and it's like, it's just, that shit was magic, man. That shit was.
So then,
shit was
all right,
magic,
then you get in some trouble. And like,
I
when I read was 16. I mean, so I don't know. You tell.
But
I mean,
it happened.
Yeah.
It was compiling before that. Like,
okay.
the first real trouble was like around 13 and 14, and then going through juvenile stuff, and then being on probation as a juvenile until an adult. Okay. So by the time
and CT, real quick, as far as I know, back in CT they changed the laws, and they changed it where you were an adult as like 16, I think. I mean,
but that's how I got tried.
That's how. Like they changed the laws even when I was getting.
That was in the Predator, in the Super Predator thing, like when Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton was like when youth was creating crime or doing crimes in that time. That's when it was like kids was getting tried. It was that year, 9/6, when I was 16. That's when I got in real trouble.
Right.
But it was normal,
right.
If you know. So like, you was a knucklehead back then. It almost was a part of growing up in the 90s. It was like, there was like a rough edge. You wore your Timbs. They was kind of beat up. You wore a Scully that had lint on it. It was like, we was rugged growing up.
Half braids, half afro.
Half braids, half afro. You know, it was okay. It was rugged. And we smoked weed, 40s and blunts. You know, it really sounds cliche. To say it now, it sounds a little weird, but that's really how it was.
It doesn't sound weird because we were there.
Yeah.
It sounds weird if you weren't there.
Yeah.
But It doesn't sound weird to me.
Jeans every day.
It doesn't sound weird to me because this is,
you know what I'm saying?
This is what we did, yo.
It wasn't like, I guess dudes was fly, I guess, but I wasn't wearing no designer stuff and belt buckles, and we was dirty. Like, it was okay.
Yeah, it was kind of, it was on some grimy
hoodies. It was really hoodie season. Niggas wore jean shorts with Timbs.
Yo, on the rag. I mean, yo, Tim's all seasons, man. I mean, that's what it was.
But it was in that time. So at that time, all of us was getting in trouble.
Like, yo, it was the 90s. Like, yo, I mean, everybody
was trying to hustle a little.
Everybody, yo, if you grew up during that time, not to cut you off,
wasn't even trying to be a kingpin. You was just hustling a little.
That's what you did. Everybody sold weed. Everybody sold weed. Everybody hustled something.
Couple dollars.
Did a little something. I mean,
a couple.
He was boosting. He was doing. I mean, everybody was. It was the 90s, man. He was getting stomped out, stomping somebody out. I mean, everybody was grimy back then, man. It was grimy as fuck. Especially you talk about Charlie Oak, man. I was it. North End. I mean, the whole shit. I mean, everywhere, and not just in Hartford. I mean, everywhere. Sorry, hold on. So you fast forward, you getting
got in a little bit of trouble. Yeah.
All right.
So by the time I was 16, I got in a little bit of trouble. You mentioned I never made a day in high school. I'm not proud. I'm just saying, like, you know what I mean? So I got held back a few times in school or whatever because I was getting in trouble and doing all that. And then by the time I was 16, 8th grade was already done skiing. I was like, no high school, all of that stuff. I've been held back a couple times. So I went straight from not really going to school to getting locked up. And then when I got locked up, I had just turned 16, and I got hit because I had some serious stuff. So my first bid, I copped out to 10, but I copped out with 10 with the right to argue for less, so I got 7. You know what I'm saying? And I had 15 suspended out there. So it's not like New York is.
How much did you actually serve?
I did 5 years, 9 months straight. So it's not like how New York, a 3 to 9 or whatever. Connecticut kind of has it set up a little bit different. So I went away. I did 5 and 9 months, and then so that was from 16. I got out at 22. Now see, when I was in there, I got the GED and all that, and then when I got in there, I finally got a chance to kind of sit down and kind of breathe, like to be away from like growing up in the hood, running around, things not being right. My mom's was messing.
You never went to high school.
I never did one single day ever in high school. So while dudes was going to proms and all that, I was locked up. When dudes was doing all that,
Time-wise, what year was this?
I got locked up in '96, in June of '96. Yeah, and then I got out maybe July of '02 or something, June of '02. So I did 6 years. I did 5 years, 9 months, I think total, or 6 years even. But that's what it was. And I had got out. But what I'm saying is, I did that. So I started out in the youth and NY and all that, worked all the way through. And while I was in there, I had time to reflect. I did a lot of growing up in there, and I was focusing on rhyming. I finally learned how to like really write rhymes in there. I still didn't really know how to count.
Did you have somebody putting you on? I mean, like, were you just vibing out doing your thing?
We was vibing. There was other guys in there that rhymed. You know what I'm saying? Right. And during this is always pivotal in the story, because when I was in there, that's when hip hop really shifted.
Right.
When I say that, I mean, like, in '93, WuTang ruled the world. It was like, that was the best shit. Grimy shit was up front, you know what I'm saying? You had grimy hits that was hits, right? And hip-hop was foggier and dirtier. But sometime between the time when I got locked up, halfway through, is when Puffy came with, like, Puffy was already fucking with Big, right? But then you got the Mace, the shiny suit. By that time was like the second WuTang album where WuTang wasn't like.
I don't want to talk about it.
But you see what I'm saying? Yeah, so in there, and then a little bit after that, you got Supreme Clientele. But what I'm painting for you is like the timeline of how it's associated with the hip hop.
Right.
I started to listen to underground.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like through like college stations and all that, I started to listen to underground. It was this white cat that I was locked up with that was putting me on to like the raucous stuff.
You got like '96, you said, right? Okay.
Yeah, but this I started probably listening maybe a couple years after, like maybe 98.
Okay.
I started really, and then like whenever
He
that
was putting you on while you was locked up.
yeah, cause he had a job and I had a job, so we was like sweeping the halls and stuff, and he had to walk, man.
How was he getting it though? I mean, how was
He
the music
knew.
coming
I
in?
don't know. He had already knew, so he was putting me on.
So was it older shit that you were listening to, or like current shit that was coming out? Like,
underground? So he put
Like
me
what?
on The Last Emperor.
okay.
I don't even remember when that came out. Maybe that was after.
Right.
But like that Secret Wars was one of the first like
Like what else did he put? Like, so you were locked up. He's putting you on to like
Shabam Sadiq,
big up Shabam Sadiq.
Arabian Nights. I think
Okay.
the joint was on
Yeah,
the
yeah,
soundbar
yeah,
and
yeah.
shit.
No doubt.
It was
That's
RA
big-
had a
that's big
joint
cool.
that was
Shout out
on,
to
and
Shabam.
I've never heard of these. I never knew that cats was rapping like that until I heard that underground stuff. Company Flow, stuff like that. What else? The High and the Mighty. The first Black Star, Most Def and them shit. So that was, this is in the late 90s or whatever. So by that time I started to listen to this. And then I'm like, wow, you could really rhyme about whatever you want to rhyme about. There's a whole nother world. And that's what underground opens up. That you don't got to be like a radio rapper. You don't have to be a hardcore street rapper. You could be whatever the fuck you want to rhyme about, you could rhyme about. And that's how I started to be like, damn, maybe, I could really do something. And the Blacastan.
While you were locked up, you were thinking.
Oh, maybe I could create a persona. It was something to pass time. I used to draw. I spent a lot of time in the jail art programs and stuff. And the persona of Blacastan came from CNN. That whole desert motif, like how they Queensbridge is Iraq, or Kuwait and Iraq is left rack, and Bosnia and all of that from Tragedy Gaddafi,
big up
Manuel
Trash.
Noriega.
No doubt. Big up
So I
Trash.
had a room at Selly at the time.
Oh, you did join with Trash. That's right.
Yeah, well, I did a couple, but not, just some
But anyway,
kind
yeah,
of
no, I'm saying.
verses or
I'm just
whatever.
trying to-
But I met him, peace to God, man.
Yeah. So yeah.
My name was already Black in rhymes, and then I had to sell. He like, yo, my name is Lebanon. He said his name was Lebanon, and I'm like, damn, that sounds dope. That, you know what I mean? That's fresh right there. And then he was like, yo, you should say your name is like Blacastan, like Black. I thought it was corny at first, like, damn. And then we would be writing rhymes or whatever. We was like partners in writing rhymes. And I started to use it, and niggas was like, yo, that's fresh. That's like some CNN shit.
Yeah.
So back then, it was like, that was the bar. You wanted to sound like that or rhyme like that.
Yeah.
And then I got it, and it stuck, and it's kind of original in a sense, because how many people, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a dope
And I
thing.
started to just run with, yeah, that was the shit.
All right, so you're getting influenced.
The Life for the Tape I wrote. Yeah, son. I wrote that in 98, though.
Okay.
I was 18.
Word.
And that was the Nas shit. The Nas, I
tell
wrote
us
that.
about, so real quick, Life of the Tape. Tell us about, just so we.
Alright, here's the conception. This is the inception of Life of the Tape. Nas had I Gave You Power, right?
Which is about the
Before that, KRS had the I'm a blunt being smoked and I can't wake up. I'm dreaming.
This
He had that shit.
personification, right? Yeah.
Personification. So my man Blunt, he was like, yo, just on some regular shit, like, yo, I'm out to write something. I forgot what he wrote himself as, but he personified himself as something. And we was both writing it off of the It Was Written cassette. So you know that I Gave You Power. There is no instrumentals in there at that time. So you would listen to the Nas shit, and the little end of it, or wherever you could catch a free part of the beat, or just going straight over his rhymes, you would listen and try to block out his rhyme and write your shit. Because you don't have an instrumental of it. So you got your shit on, and he's like, yo, I gave you power. I made you walk wild. So I'm like, yo, stick me in your tape deck. I'm a cassette. And I'm just, that's all you could do.
Right.
So then we was writing. So all of that time, I only had one verse to that song, the first verse. But in my mind, even in jail, I always knew, never put me in your box. If your shit is tape, I let my tape rock till I always had the cuts in my head of what I would use when I got the opportunity to do it.
Right.
So we come out and we rhyme it. I still got it written down in a commissary notepad. And he come out, spit his, I spit mine. And niggas like, yo, that shit is crazy. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like,
Where
yo,
was you locked up at?
I did most of my time in NYI, Baby Cheshire, because I was youth. And then I went from there, we had the fights and shit, and we went from there to the Ticket Block and Big Cheshire. And I came up with Carl Robinson.
Baby Cheshire.
Yo.
That's where they stick on, like, all the little solid niggas that was like 15, they go to 16, you know what I'm saying?
Solid niggas, you crazy.
So.
But yo, that life for the tape, yo.
That was hot, yo.
That's like
I wish you could play that.
Yeah,
so,
I might get pushed in it.
Yeah. So, all right. So.
And I wrote the second verse after
you go in at 16, you get out at 21, basically. 22, 21.
21, right? Yeah, right.
21, 22. All right. So, what's the plan for Blacastan getting out of jail? You know, like what's the mindset coming out? Where you at coming out? Like,
I'm gonna keep it completely thorough with you. I was in there long enough to see dudes come in and out. Like, I seen dudes get out for a week and come back. You know what I'm saying? So I was in there long enough to figure out, like, yo, if I go back out here and do the same shit, I'm gonna come right back. I was real enough to figure that out. Like, yo, if I go out here and I do the same shit, I'm gonna come back. Like, I knew that 1,000%. My grandmother passed away when I was in there. That's all that I really had. My mom kind of was out here, but she wasn't really living straight, so I really couldn't determine too much on that. My father was at a point where he was so disappointed in me, he didn't even want to deal with me at all. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't know where I was gonna, you know what I mean? I ended up coming out and I stayed with my aunt. She let me make parole there. And I was scared, man. I'm gonna keep it real. Like, I don't know if dudes really say that or not. I knew one thing, like, when I was in jail, that I could do the right thing if I was in jail. You know what I mean? I didn't know what I was gonna do when I got out, and that's keeping it 100% real. Dudes won't say that. Like, dudes that act tough and be macho, be like, yeah, son, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna go get this bread, man, blah, blah, blah. I didn't know what I was gonna do, though. You know what I mean? All I knew is that deep in my heart, I didn't want to get in trouble no more. You know what I mean? And I knew that if I came back, I didn't have anybody to troop any more bids with me. My family had it up to their necks with me getting in trouble since I was a kid. So when I got out, I got with my aunt. She let me stay there, and I knew that I couldn't fuck up. This is grown man talk. I can't let her down. She gave me a shot. If I don't do it for myself, I got to do it and just show her that I'm not going to get in trouble. I got out. Everybody was like, with a record, you ain't going to be able to get a job or blah, blah, blah. I got a job like within 3 days. That was at Hometown Buffet. I was washing dishes in there. You know what I mean? I was like, yes, I don't want to go back to selling drugs and getting in trouble.
right.
Then I went from that, I got another job, and I've been working ever since. And working on music. And so that's the real thing. So music is a dream, you know. So whenever you get an opportunity to do music, that's a talent, that's an art, that's something else. If you can do that and get bread off that, you batting a million. You know what I mean? Because this doesn't really happen for everybody, you know. I've been fortunate enough where I've achieved a certain amount of success with it, and I'm happy and thankful for that. You know what I mean? I've traveled to different places off of music. I grew up, I went from 16 to my early 20s in jail. Not back and forth, one shot. You know what I'm saying? I literally came out of jail, and within a few years, I was professionally doing music. You know what I mean? So I literally went from a cell to never, ever being anywhere, really, to traveling to somewhere else and going to, and that's through, like, Appenum provided me with a lot of the big opportunities.
Let's go there. How did you link?
Self-titled on them.
How did you link up with Demigods, Army of the Pharaohs? You get okay. So
this is a wild app.
Okay, so hold on. Let's go. So all right, but let's go back then. You get out, yo. You get out. Your aunt hold you down. You know what I'm saying?
And I'm working, saving, and at the same time.
So then what's going on with the music at that time then?
At that time.
When does the music pick up? Rather?
I ain't gonna lie. Any real rapping nigga know that no matter what's going on in your life, you got a notebook of where you writing something, or you hearing a rhyme. You hearing, you hearing beats and rhymes where you rhyming. You always rhyming, or you always gonna hear something and be like, damn, I could have slid that, or you're gonna always be collecting your little scribbles or whatever. So I always kept a notebook, plus all the shit that I wrote in jail. I wrote mad shit in jail, you know what I'm saying? And I bumped into dudes that I knew from back in the days, and it was like, yo, you still be on that rapping shit? I was like, yeah. They was like, yo, adrenaline click. They was like, yo, we still doing it. Yo, come fuck with us, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, all right. So I went and seen what it was about. I spit the light with the tape shit. I hooked up with my man Paul Pounds and my man named Low Profile. And they was kind of making beats kind of Alchemist sounding, where they was looping like folk shit and shit. And they was like, yo, we fuck with the High and Mighty. We fuck with RA. We fuck with Jedi Mind Trick. And I'm like, word, I didn't know y'all knew about that. I know about that too, because I had got put on. I was like, yo, y'all heard of the Last Emperor? It was like, yeah. So we connected on the underground shit, and it was like, yo, we fuck with you. So I started to get with them and break away from my other guys, and we started to cook on the low. And then we came with the Me Against the Radio shit, which was my first CD. And we said Me Against the Radio, because we didn't like mainstream shit, and we was going to show them that we could do some underground shit that'd be banging. And then the Me Against the Radio had the light with the tape on it. Then that is what got my man Trees, Rob Riley. He's from East Hartford. He had moved to Boston, and he was working at undergroundhiphop.com. But he was coming back here, and by that time we was doing shows at Sully's and all the Webster Underground.
No doubt.
So we was starting to bubble a little, and he started to see me, and my man Correct One, he took the Me Against the Radio CD and sent it to Trees. But Trees slept on it. He's like, this shit, like, he didn't even listen to it. And so then he had the CD, and then he came back down here, and he saw us rock, and he was like, yo, we killed it. Then he made the connection and realized, yo, this is the nigga that's on the CD. And then somehow we just ended up linking. And Trees was kind of like managing me a little bit, and he just got it popping, because he was working at Brick Records. And my other man, this is coming back to me now. So he was working at Brick Records, and then that's how I got my first situation at Brick. By then, I had started to mess with my man Columbian that was producing on the SB 1200 and the MPC. And by that time, we got signed to Brick to do a one-off for Black Sabbath. And that was my first little record deal, my indie first record deal. That was like legit. We signed a little contract or whatever, a licensing agreement. And then around that time, the light with the tape was bubbling. I was doing shows with Juju Camacho.
Okay.
And he was running the Charter Cultural Center. And one time he brought Sadat X up and Elder Sensei, and we rocked there.
Big up Sadat X, Elder Sensei. We'll see them on Monday.
Yeah, El's the homie.
We'll see Elder Sensei on Monday, yo. Big up.
And so I rocked there. And now, these are like your first big opportunity to rock with like guys like that. And then Camacho was championing me. Chum was feeling me. And Chum was already a demigod with App. So somehow, I don't know how the message got back to App, but he was like, yo, I fuck with the light with the tape. He was doing a radio show at UConn at the time.
Big up Apathy, Demigods, man.
Peace to App,
no doubt, man. I'm trying to link up with him tomorrow. He's supposed to hit me back and let me know.
Y'all should be good.
So we good, you know what I'm saying? But yo, yes.
And so App was like, yo, come up and do the radio show with me. I like that song, blah, blah, blah. Right there, dude, I went up and I sat in on his radio show at UConn. That first time we sat in, we clicked on music so heavy that I ended up going back. And then I went back. And then I went back. And then before you know it, I was a permanent fixture on his show.
Word.
And so 3 years in, 2 years in. So the whole Demigod thing happened just totally organically. Like me and I didn't even do any music together. We was just friends from doing the show, and it was like, damn, all of a sudden I was as a guest, and I went back, and then before you know, it was like 3 more years in, or 2 or 3 years, and we was tight as fuck, and he's like, yo, by that time we might have done one joint that was on the Wanna Snuggle album, and he was like, yo, you should be a part of the Demigods, and then he talked to everybody else, and he was like, yo,
right.
blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm about to play some Shot Khan, man.
Play whatever you want. Blacastan in the building. Rap FM. Hartford, Connecticut.
Yeah, damn, we was bad, bro.
Gives a fuck. Demigods, AOTP. Yo, this is important stuff, man. This is history. So, because I got a lot of Connecticut heads on my page, and they need to know this shit. I need to know this shit.
Dulio and Steezo was influential.
Big up Dulio. Yo, Steezo used to be my barber.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And Dulio, I know him from as well. So big up, yo, New Haven. That's where I went to after I left Hartford. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man, there was this kid named Chris that had a label, and he lived in New York, Sound of Descent, and he showed interest early out. We never ended up doing anything with him, but he was one of the first dudes that was believing in the movement. Like, yo,
let me start popping.
Yeah, but he was like, yo, you could do this shit for real,
right.
You know. So a lot of dudes that was already familiar was like, yeah, you know what I'm saying?
All right, so you rocking, your nose is clean, Demigods.
Life was good, though.
You doing your thing. Yeah. All right, so I need to hear some shit about. First of all, what's coming next? You got on some ninja shit, man.
And listen, and the whole Pharaohs thing is also organic.
Yes, I forgot. Yeah, tell me about Army of Pharaohs, please.
Like the Pharaohs thing is all like one family tree, right? Because like Brick, that's Karma, that's Esoteric, that's DJ 7L,
yes.
That's Papa D. You know what I'm saying?
Awesome, yes.
It's almost impossible to mention those names without thinking about Vinny Paz, without thinking about y'all, without thinking about JMT. Even App is wound. All of us are wound into that tree, you know, because of it's like family, because that's the tree that the music comes from. You know what I mean? So when you think of Brick, Esoteric is original Army of the Pharaohs. You know, like from the first inception of Army of the Pharaohs, Esoteric is there. App, I think, was probably on the first Jedi Mind Trick album, either the first or second, or whatever it was. I can't remember all.
Yeah, no. I've noticed that Planetary. I've noticed that the whole
of course,
shit.
Outer Space.
Yeah, I've noticed that it's all.
Dope Nixon.
Yeah, it's. I've noticed that it's really like Army of the Pharaohs, Jedi Mind Tricks, Demigod,
it's a big tree.
Big ass diesel fucking engine.
Yeah. So that shit is like
steamroller.
It's like I don't remember all. You know what I mean? It's like Karma, like, yo, Vinny, you need to listen to Black. You know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, word, all right. So you know what I'm saying? That's this thing falling asleep. So it's like all of that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Paz is my man. Stu is my man. Like Stu Bangers is like one of my best friends. Correct One, Colombian. These guys are like my best friends. Like I taught these dudes every day. You know, Paz is the big homie. You know what I mean? Esoteric, you know what I'm saying? So it's family, you know what I mean? It's family. So it's like, you know, obviously, you know, there's times we have our differences or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But it's all love. Some of us have progressed.
All right, first of all, I need to get your top 5. That's what I'm gonna put you on the spot. I need to get that. I have to have it.
Holy shit.
I gotta get it. Fucking production assistant falling asleep over here. Fucking
shit.
Piece of shit.
No.
Daughter.
No, here. Geez, don't do that, man.
No, I love you. That's my daughter. But top 5.
He's like, yo.
Top
Hold
5.
up, man. What the fuck?
Top
it's
5.
like you know all of this until you get asked.
And hold on. I tried to say I'm not gonna ask him 10 because that would fuck him up. So I only gave you 5. Top 5. The top 5. You can leave your top 5.
Come on, this is such a tricky fucking.
Okay, we're gonna come back to this question. Now here's the question. If Blacastan's got to go to right now, if you about to fucking put something on, other than yourself, other than your crew, what you putting on?
What music?
Okay, we'll go to what music, but as far as hip hop, like who you putting on hip hop wise?
Putting on, like putting
no,
in the game?
spitting. I mean, who you listening to? Who's Blacastan listening to?
I'm not going for it. Like, you know, obviously, damn, like right now, I listen to the crew, man. I listen to old shit, man. I'm keeping it funny.
Okay,
I'm having a good time rediscovering old shit.
Okay,
classic albums. Like, I go back to shit that I used to skim over. You know, like, I'm always listening to premiere shit. I've got to keep it funky. Like, if you look at my playlist, You hear this? I really don't listen to too much rap like that no more. But I'm listening to like just classics, man. But look, this is go to. This is a DJ Premier playlist.
Boom.
I'm not gonna lie to you. This is like what I listen to. You know what I'm saying? New shit. Obviously, you got Griselda. That's the hot shit right now. Conway's a monster. I listen to that. You got Smooth. You got Hus Kingpin. You know, you got Planet Asia.
Ooh, big up Planet A, my nigga.
It's you listen to shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
What up?
What I listen to, shit like that. Top 5 is hard.
Oh, we still going there. I'm putting you on the spot.
Got, you know, obviously.
Listen, it could change tomorrow,
Yeah.
but I'm putting you on the spot now. So I'm gonna give me. Yo, you don't even gotta be in order. How about that? I'm throwing you a layup, man.
Dude.
A layup.
Yo, listen, man. You got. Damn, this is so hard, man.
I'll even take. I know you've thought about it, so I mean you're analytical.
How about my favorite MCs? How about that? Top 5 is so hard, cause then, yo, like I was listening to a podcast and it was like, well, what era? You know what I mean?
No.
It's like, how do you do it?
Yo, because okay, let's talk about it. I'll give you some criteria, so let's see if we can work with that. All right, I'll say.
Yo, I like Drew
Hold
too.
on.
Your old Drew is dope. I like him.
He's nice.
You know what I mean?
He's nice. Shout out to him. Yo.
I like J Electronica. It's fucking dope.
Okay.
You know what I mean? He doesn't have nobody.
Okay. I'm gonna make it even easier. You saying?
And I'm
keeping
it real.
You saying? Okay. I felt that through your layup.
The Griselda.
I'm a lower the hoop. All right. So who do you like? Who do you like right now? Fuck top 5. Who? Okay. OGs, like who do you think is like dope? I mean, fuck it, forget favorites. Just like
the saga begins. My eyes is the photography lens. Come on, you know what I mean? You got Rakim.
Like this
you got Guru. You know what I'm saying? It's so hot. You got
okay,
Kiss.
so no more favorites. So I'm taking the pressure off.
Yeah,
no
you got
pressure.
Kiss. You got you know what
no
I mean?
Pressure.
Of course, you
name. Yo, just toss them out. Okay, I'll throw them out.
This is something that I should really think about. So whenever
Pharoah Monch. Hold on, I just throw out names. Pharoah Monch.
Pharoah Monch is dope.
Sean P.
I mean? Okay, Price is dope, of course. None of those are debatable.
No,
these are all
saying,
incredible.
we just
Tragedy Gaddafi. Influential, you know what I mean? I don't think he gets as much props as he should get. He's influential, man. That dude.
Since '85.
Yeah,
he's 85. Go Green.
He's a living dinosaur.
Super Kids. Big up Trash, yo. He's people, yo. Big up Trash. So, OC. Big L. I'm just tossing up.
Big L, yeah.
All right, so like, we tossing some softballs here, but yo, I'm trying to hone in on. Here's the thing why I'm asking, yo, because first of all, people always ask me, but I like to hear from older cats, like who really meant a lot to you. Forget. Let's throw out the rankings and shit like that. So, you know what I'm saying? So we can be diplomatic, but like, who meant a lot to you? It's like, yo, this is my. Because I can throw out some people for you. I can say right now, Redman for me, G-Rap, or Ghostface. Those are cats that are like.
Another thing too is certain albums.
Right.
Certain albums meant a lot.
Right.
You know, J. Rooted Damager was influential.
Right.
J. Rooted Damager for me.
Of course.
You know what I mean?
But
these are the MCs that formulated me. You know what I'm saying? J. Rooted Damager.
Blacastan.
And albums like Jewels, like OC Jewels, that was influential. You know what I mean? Like these albums held a certain place.
So you got albums and you got artists.
The sun rises in the east. You know what I'm saying?
All right, so throw out some more.
Step in the Arena, Daily Operation. You know what I mean? 36 Chambers. You know what I'm saying? Even Raw Flush, Ghetto Millionaire.
Of course.
You see what I'm saying? So
it doesn't have to be a top 5 album.
But these records, you know, and then it's even certain songs that were influential that kind of really influenced you. You know, Return of the Boom Bap. It sounds cliche to say that because we dealing with boom bap hip hop, but that's like one of those albums. So it's like KRS is an animated, smart MC. He's not like a street type of MC, but he is street because if you listen to a lot of the context and what he's saying. Dude, man, come on, the creativity, the album, the beats, how the shit sound. Boom Bap is a classic album.
Of course.
You know what I mean? Mecca and the Soul Brother. You know what I'm saying? Onyx. You know, it's like, how do you, the first Soul Survivor album. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
so it's interesting.
a lot.
You went.
And no matter what you say when you name a top 5, you're gonna sound hypocritical. It's gonna sound crazy because how could you say him and not have said him? It's
but that's why, but that's why. A, it's just for fun. B, it's just. It's
true. But I take it so serious because I listen back to this.
No, I take it serious too. But I'm saying,
did I say
but I'm saying in the end,
and then look, you know what else? When those top rapper conversations come up, you know what happens? You automatically go for the legends. But what about all those underground cats that was rapping that was super dope, probably doper than those guys never, you know what I mean?
It's like in basketball, all that shit. Like, you know
it depends on who you ask.
In football, basketball, you got dudes that on the playgrounds right now that could be like open and.
But I ain't gonna lie, like that Gangstar shit and all of that. Like,
all right, so some of your albums that meant a lot to you.
That Gangstar
Step
shit.
Into the Arena?
Even to this day, like you see me, I got a premiere, baby. It's like. Playlist. That's real. This is not because you're coming. This is like
he's number 1.
And you know what else about DJ Premier is like he spans all these time, all these eras. He spans or he survives through that and makes dope shit through all of that. So like that playlist is gonna have shit from the 90s, from the 2000s, from right now, from 2 years ago, from 3. That's what. Who else
you could
did
go
that?
back to work.
RZA not even.
You could go back to Manifest. You could go back to
That's what I'm
positive,
saying.
You know what I'm saying? Negative.
Yeah. LL, yo, alright. One of my top rappers is LL Cool J.
Shout out to LL for following the page, which blows my mind. So
and I was listening to that GOAT album. Like, yo, when you go back and you listen to some of this, yo, EPMD. Like, yo, come on, man.
That's one of my top 5 groups.
You can't, come on.
EP, this one. Yo, Eric Sermon with the Southern. Yeah. So big up EPMD. You know what I'm saying?
That Rampage video they had on the
you know what I'm saying? Big up EPMD, yo. Like, and they've also stood the test of time. There's a few groups that have been out there for a minute. I mean, they've been around. Put Redman on. They've been around for a minute. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, he's Reggie. He's
one of my favorite
still hungry.
The second Chronic and the first Chronic. You know, so like if we really delved in and really started, you know.
We can delve though. I mean, we can delve until you kick me out until the batteries run out.
Nah, we good. I mean, you tell me. You know what I mean? So I evaded your top 5.
Yeah, but
I politically danced around.
Yeah, but I'm about to dance right back because I'm a b-boy, so I'm gonna dance right back. So I will. You know what I'm saying? All right, but I'm trying.
Been an attorney.
But I'm trying not to, because I'm gonna put you on the spotlight and have you spit. So I'm trying not to really get on your nerves right now. So, all right, Pete. Yes, you were spitting. Because you owed me a 60 seconds of flame that we talked about.
I'm too old.
Hold on, I can check my phone and say Blacastan. I got the text message from like 6 months ago, so I need my 60 seconds of flame. We're gonna get that shit. But anyway, all right, Pete. All right, so forget top 5. Give me some 5 MCs though that really like just hit you. No rankings, nothing. Just like, yo, that really influenced you, they're powerful. Whether they sign, unsigned, local niggas. All right, J. Rue.
Guru. LL Cool J. J. Rue, Guru, LL Cool J. Rakim. Obviously Nas.
Yes. Feel free to keep going if you want. I'm just y'all picking your brain.
Now when you say the Wu,
I'm
it's
picking
like
your brain.
I say the Wu as one.
No, we're not doing it as one. We can't do that.
Alright, so you got Ghosts. You got Ghosts with the work on Iron Man and Supreme Clientele. I heard some crazy things about Supreme Clientele that I'm not even gonna talk about.
We know about those things.
Raekwon.
We can talk. Listen, I'll talk about it if you want to talk about it. But I'm saying,
Raekwon, Gold. You know what I mean?
What you got? Supreme Clientele of Iron Man.
All right, so
hold on. Supreme Clientele of Iron Man.
Holy
pick.
Wow.
Pick. Blacastan, Rap FM, Guerrilla Style. We up in this crib.
That's fucked up.
Iron Man. You won't answer any of my other questions about MCs. Iron Man or fucking, what did I say? Supreme Clientele.
Supreme Clientele, bro.
Okay.
And see, that's so sketchy because of the backstory on it. That's so sketchy.
Yeah. We get as far as
I don't even like to say that. Like, it's almost sacrilegious to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right,
I was talking to Paz about it.
Let's skip it.
Yeah.
Let's skip it. Bro. I think.
Damn, I'm too PG, man.
No, I think it's a good one to skip.
But I don't want to deface the classic. But what's known is known. But I don't want to be the one to be sharing it.
Allegedly, Lord Superb wrote some of Supreme Clientele. That is not confirmed. We do not know. Rest in peace, Lord Superb. Even though he did some foul shit.
But that's a very important album.
But that is a very important album. And regardless, and it was a dope album.
Yeah,
So that's what we know. So yeah, I mean whatever. So, all right.
I like Bulletproof Wallets too.
I like that too. It's slept on. People think it was too poppy, but I think it was dope.
Yeah,
I think it was dope.
Wallets
Especially on the
I heard
strawberry shit.
his pen was active on that too. I heard.
Yeah.
But you can, I don't know. It's kind of, you can kind of tell because the way it was so different from the Iron Man album.
Right. So, all right.
Definitely some different. We got 1 minute.
Yeah, well, we can.
And Yo, this is for Mumia in the side of Shakur, Geronimo Pratt, Huey P. The Panthers was black. This for them third world countries with brothers on breadlines, political prisoners locked up doing Fed time. For Mandela, Marley, and Marcus Garvey. For Malcolm, Elijah, and the Prophet Muhammad. Harriet Tubman, Nat Turner, time to pay homage. The last to be first, so indeed I'm last. Spit truth in the booth behind plexiglass. Never fictitious like fake tits on sisters. Uncle Sam point fingers, then go and enlist us. In the desert storm where the sands are blister. Only made it home because a missiles just missed you. Returning from the gunplay, stray shots and gun spray. Police quest, but the truth none say. Killers walk away, only to murk the next day. I'm blacker than the afro on the side of Shakur. Blacker than the darkest corners in your project's corridors. Blacker than